Hey, what's up, guys? It's Antoine Don again. Man, I'm just thinking back to back when I was in high school. Uh, I started off as playing the guitar, um, bass precisely, and it was funny when I started playing. It was funny watching me play because I would only play with one finger. Okay, one finger was on my fretting hand and one finger on my picking hand, so I'm sitting here and I'm playing like this, you know what I mean? And that's just a noob approach to it, but I wanted to um, bring something important to you guys, and that's music theory. I've spoke on it before, um, and it's very important to know music theory, especially for my singers out there. But back to my story. um, I'm sitting here, I'm playing bass, with just one finger on each hand and not really knowing what I'm doing, but I started picking up, you know, I would play a lot of songs that I heard on the radio. I would have my radio playing and I just sit there and just play to it all day, you know. And it was just so interesting because I picked it up very quickly, but I didn't know what the heck was going on in the song. I had no idea. Until I just finally decided, all right, this is frustrating. I'm learning these songs over time, and it's frustrating because I'm like, okay, how did they come up with that chord progression, or how did they come up with that note? That rhythm. How did they come up with that? All these questions were coming to my head, and you know, one day it just started off. I asked one of my friends. I was like, hey, what's a 16th note? And you know, if you know music theory, you would know that rhythm is the it's the foundation of music. You know what I mean? If a melody line, it's essentially a rhythm. You know, but with um, with music theory, it allowed me to understand the language of music. It allowed me to understand the scientific aspects behind what I was doing. You know, I was able to go into um, different jam sessions or um, things like that, and I was able to communicate what I wanted. You know what I mean? You can't do that if you don't know music theory. I mean, yeah, you can, but it's like it's really hard. It's like learning a new language. Music theory is just the exact same as learning a new language. You know what I mean? It's tough at first. A lot of people have no patience for it. A lot of great musicians don't have patience for it. They just they're just really good players, and that's all they want to do. But music theory really, really helps. It it will help you to come up with more creative ideas, uh, different rhythms, and things like that. I'm a bass player, so it's like rhythm is really exciting to me. There's so many different kinds of ways to approach a song, and so many different ways you can combine things and make something completely new just off of a small theory. You know what I mean? So I advise you guys. Um, there's a website called 8notes.com. Go to that site. All right, it'll teach you the staff, the grand staff. It'll teach you, the notes like whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note. A lot of you guys, and I'm speaking specifically right now to rappers. A lot of you guys, you do all these flows. You come up with all these flows, and you don't even really know what you're doing. Like that triplet flow right now is hot right now. The da 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 da, like that's really hot right now, but you don't even know what you're doing. You're just, you know, going off of what you hear is hot, and you're just copying that. It's like if you knew music theory and understood what you were doing, you'd realize that that's just a triplet rhythm. And so off of that knowledge right there, you could build something else and, create your own rhythm, your own flow that, nobody really is doing. You know what I mean? So it's all about it just brings in more knowledge about the scientific parts of what you're doing. You know, if I tell you, hey, look, I'm looking for a transposition at this part, you know, to take the song up a key. You know what I mean? At a certain part in the section of the song. So really, I encourage you guys to learn music theory because it will take your creativity to a whole new level, and a lot of people won't be able to compete. And people I've told this to, they actually utilized it. I've witnessed their skills reach a new height. I've witnessed their creativity reach a new height, and it's an amazing thing. All you got to do is just put the time in. Music theory is not that complicated. Yes, it can be complicated, but when you sit and you really uh, try to understand, I feel like people don't try to understand music theory. They just they go through it, and if they don't get it right away, then they just give up. And it's like, dude, really sit and focus on it, you know. And honestly, if you want to learn music theory, talk to me. If it's frustrating you, talk to me, and I'll describe it in a way that you can understand. Because not everybody can understand it the same way. It is what it is. But I encourage everybody to learn music theory. I encourage everybody to learn a musical instrument. Okay, if you're a musician, an artist, singer, rapper, whatever, learn a musical instrument. Okay, even if you're a songwriter and you don't sing or perform, learn an instrument, because your creativity as far as songs you'll be knocking them out. So again, it's been a pleasure, but I'm gonna have to leave you guys. This is Antoine Don. Catch me on the next video. Peace.